in the original container.
I love Lincoln Logs.
Yep. Bought for $30.
I was gonna say I
What's a
remember
Lincoln
playing with
Log?
those. It's
What's
like
a
a
Lincoln
little.
Log?
You don't know what Lincoln Log is?
You don't know what. Do you
I'm
know what a
from New
Tinker
York,
toy
apparently.
is? Do you know what a Tinker
Way before
toy
Legos
is?
came out.
I'll have to show you later.
Yeah.
All right.
So supposedly, I think I saw it on Instagram. There's actually like a adult place you can go, and it's literally big Lincoln Logs, and you can build like this makeshift cabin, because it looks more like a cabin with Lincoln Logs. I don't know where it's at, but I've heard about it.
That would be a funny thing to do, is if I had the money and the space to do it. They're like, what are you doing? Well, and I would actually go out and cut down trees and make them look like Lincoln Logs, and then just, have veterans come out and go, hey guys, guess what? We're gonna play with our Lincoln Logs today, but they're life size. So then we're gonna build a cabin. Then we're gonna go ahead and have a little campfire in front of it. And then it's like, this is what happens when you leave veterans unsupervised.
And if they're drinking, I'm sure it'll be crooked as shit too.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll have to find those guys that drove down down the highway on the East Coast. They were drinking. They put all moose heads on, and then they took out one of their guys and they tied him to the hood of the truck, and they drove down the highway with these big giant moose heads sticking out the windows and stuff like that, with a beer bottle sticking out of their mouth, and caused all types of accidents. And they're like, yes, they went to jail. Yes, drinking was involved. And yes, they were unsupervised.
Hey, Chris, real quick question. Since we don't have any guests, you want me to go ahead and edify you anyways?
It's good practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all about bettering each other. So, hey, so I actually want to pick up on what you just said. That's kind of like a cool line. This is what happens when you leave veterans unsupervised. We create some badass shit like this, So, I kind of
slogan.
That's a good slogan, right? That's like, wait a second, that's hot. That's hot.
That should be like a caption, and then you have a bunch of things underneath it that show some veterans doing some stuff that they're unsupervised. Crazy stuff they've done.
We'll do that, and it'll be like our own little humor meme page.
There you go. Unsupervised veterans.
You've got a group ready there waiting for it.
It's
already set up.
I bet we
It's
do.
already set up. Yeah. Go play.
I'll have to write that down.
Hello. Yeah, that is an awesome idea. Anybody second that? Everyone's seconding that.
Yeah.
All right.
Idea, man.
Well,
damn it.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but it is that time. So, with everything, I am honored and privileged to present to you our president, President Raymond. I have personally watched him drop what he is doing to help out multiple veterans, and it doesn't matter what it was that he was doing. For example, he's sitting there doing his business. I've watched him stop doing his business to help out veterans in crisis mode. He's extremely artistic and currently the man behind the development of all the art and the setup of the website that we have. He created the dream for Hundo and is ultimately responsible for its existence, as well as building multiple businesses in his past, which have all been a success. He has earned more medals and accommodations in his first 4 years in the enlisted service. Most officers have in 10. So without further ado, President Raymond.
I appreciate that, Captain McDonald. How's management command going over
there? Lots of paperwork.
They're managing. They're managing awesome stuff.
I mean, I could tag team here and start, doing what the other captain's doing over there, folding his laundry at the same time as, taking care of.
Stuff you see every day recorded. I can't wait to see the responses of this.
I still have
People
3
go
meetings after this, guys. All right.
Hey, listen, we got to catch up to our wives. They multitask in 7 dimensions. We are only capped out at 5. So he's trying to train and get up there. So
hey,
yeah, I'm sure
you can't take the military out of the out of the soldier. I mean, look, He's
Yeah.
retired now, and now look, he's still doing his own laundry.
And he's ranger rolling while he's at
Right, right.
it.
Uh,
Oh man! So welcome,
okay, so
welcome to
anybody
another,
that's watching this, yes, we tease each other. Thank you.
Yes.
welcome to another Sunday. We just had an individual.
What's up, Gary?
Hey, Gary, go ahead.
Hey. Oh, I just wonder if y'all can see me. Hello.
Can't see it,
Am I-
just got a little picture.
Oh, okay. Well, how y'all doing?
Doing fine,
All
Gary.
right.
I appreciate the
Gary,
invitation.
Sure thing.
You're welcome.
Got any
There we
questions?
go.
Anything we can help you with, Gary? Ralphie?
No, well, at this moment, I'm just kind of curious as to what y'all are about. And
Well, we'll fill you in. We'll fill you in. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
There you
yeah.
go. Now we
There you
see
are.
it.
I was
Hey,
gonna
there
say,
he is.
technically, so President Raymond, if you want to take it off with the vision, and then we'll get to the vice president, and we'll go from there.
Go with
Yeah,
her.
sure. So yes, we have done a fantastic job this week. It's been awesome. We created the presentation. We finished that. The 501c is still it's finalized. We're just waiting for our paperwork to come back. We have adjusted a little bit, and we feel like we're going to need to adjust a little bit more for scheduling purposes. But overall, our vision is to take veterans needs above everyone else's, right? So and uppower them and bring them to the next level. Such as you, Gary, we want to make sure that you're taken care of on all aspects. If you're a veteran in the United States, we want to make sure we take care of you and welcome you to the family.
Thank you.
So really,
I
what
get
we're
a-
about is, go ahead.
Because I don't what y'all's protocol is, but at some point, I wouldn't mind sharing exactly what I'm doing. So at least it's out there on the table so y'all know. And then I'll be quiet or whatever, when y'all want
That
to,
works.
whatever.
Yeah, so really our vision is to veterans helping veterans on a real scale, not just like what you see in the Facebook world, and all this doesn't work. So for example, I'm going to give you an example. Captain McDonald helps me with edification, learning color schemes and mental models. Captain Dotson over there. These are all made up rank systems, sort of make
Okay.
it right.
Right.
They have purpose. They have their purpose.
Right.
And he helps with financial coaching and ranger rolling techniques right now. He's teaching me right now, which he just cut his camera off, so I can stay focused on this meeting, right? So,
Don't let me get you distracted. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So Captain Arnold helps out with teaching me how to be a man, actually, and I'll be honest, it's like a pops to me. Yeah, and so is the Vice President Finch. So,
that's cool.
we're creating a social networking platform to help veterans through education, right? To empower them and remake them as veterans on a holistic scale. So, before we jump into helping you, because your hand's still up there, let's go to Mr.
How do I
VP.
take my hand? How do I take my hand down?
Same way you put it
There.
up.
Same way you put
Same way-
it up, yeah. Just click on it.
See,
I don't
this,
see it.
see this?
So
I'm
on
just
the
going to leave it
bottom-
up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to start
All
pushing
right.
buttons. I mean,
And welcome.
All right. So without further ado, I will present Vice President Finch. He's known President Raymond for a long time and fell in love with President Raymond's vision and has dedicated himself to helping that vision come to life, and is massively responsible for where Hundo is today. He has over 40 years of business experience in coaching. Most of his businesses have been focused in social enterprises and helping people. And he did over 20 years of martial arts in his past. So without further ado, Vice President Finch.
Thank you, Captain.
Tongue twisting
That's,
myself.
That's not easy. We'll play a game of Twister later. Yeah. So yeah, you're asking earlier on about the vision. We have that written up. It's something that most organizations don't get right. And understanding what a vision is, and funnily enough, I'm going to be doing some masterclasses about that once a month coming up soon. There'll be one starting middle of next month. I'm particularly targeting non-profits who work with veterans to help them get that message right. I'm just dropping that in as a sort of a matter of interest. So one of the things we focused on is getting our vision correct and getting that set up. So that's in the presentation, and it helps people understand what the world will look like if we achieve everything that we want to achieve. And it's written in some length. I think one of the big things in there is that Chris and I worked hard on getting this right. But one of the big things is we talked in the early days about veterans having a new mission when they come out of the military. They should have a new mission in civilian life as a veteran. It's one of the biggest things we put in there, and I personally found to be probably one of the most powerful statements, is saying that veterans should not just be respected for what they did in the past, but for what they do now. And that's part of our vision. We want to get to the point where veterans are so upskilled and so prepared for civilian life and using enhancement on the skills that they've been trained in the military, that they lead such important roles in society, that they're respected for what they do now as veterans, and how veterans lead the way in society about what is possible. That's a big part of our vision. So no more homelessness, no more depression-fueled suicides, no divisions. Veterans are totally respected for what they do now. That's our vision. It's a big thing to work towards. It's a big task.
No,
but
I like it. I like what you're saying.
yeah. So you have a read of it, and you'll see. Chris has dropped it in the chat. You'll see this is our moonshot. This is what the world will look like if we achieve everything we set out to do. And what we've built, and what Chris's vision is, and I 100% behind this, that we started it, but this Hondo and everything that we set up, Veteran Hondo Club LLC and the 501c, it's only the beginning, and it will outlast us. This is something we've established to last for generations. This is not like any normal business. We've put into place things that don't exist, things that nobody else has thought of and has never even attempted. So yes, we're in beta mode. We are still testing things out, and we'll continue to test things out. We are constantly innovating, constantly trying new ways and trying to tweak what we're doing to make it right, to make it highly effective. But we're already getting enormous attention. We're getting huge attention. We're getting offers. The businesses 5-10 years established we're getting already just a couple of months in since we launched on the 1st of February. So yeah, that essentially is our big vision. We will have the 501c before long. I'm looking every day, weekdays, to see if the emails come through. The Kansas has approved our articles of association. Just every week trying. It's any time within 4 weeks. It's been in a week, about a week and a half now. So it's got to be very soon. And as soon as that's sorted, we can then start fundraising. And most of what we've got will move to the 501c, which will enable us to work as a non-profit, education-based, working with veterans, working with active duty, working with family members. And our plan is long-term that the USA operations will be the foundation, it'll be the cornerstone. That's where everything begins. We will, over time, set up other 501cs. We'll set up an umbrella 501c that will oversee the expansion into NATO countries. So we'll begin in the US, we'll move into NATO countries. Eventually, this will be a global initiative. Eventually, maybe not in our lifetime, but it will be in time. So we've got huge plans, huge plans, and a lot of huge amount of work has gone into working out the structure and how we could expand, how we can manage all this, how we could deal with over 18 million veterans, 3 million active duty in the US alone. These are big numbers, but we put in place a very careful structure that made sure that we could do that and make it realistic. We put in place the vision, we put in place the rank structure as part of that. We've planned it as best we can. We brought in some brilliant people. We've got some brilliant members, and we're always bringing in new members who are going to bring more value to the veteran community. And we're going to change the world. We're going to achieve that vision. In our lifetime, we want to see that vision realized, and beginning in the US, and the US lead the world for veterans. So that's where we're at. I'll pass back to Ian at that point.
Could I ask a question?
Oh, of course.
How
Yeah,
long y'all?
You can ask a question, but you gotta donate.
By the way, we got a sense of humor here.
I don't see the donate button on here.
Don't worry, he'll show you.
But I was just wondering how long y'all have been operational.
We launched the beta phase on the 1st of February. Chris and I started working on joint working. When was it, Chris? About November time?
That's correct. So, yeah.
And you've been working on this a long time before that.
Right.
I would say technically, from where we're at right now, we're partially operational. When it comes to being able to help veterans who are in crisis mode, we've gotten down with that. How have we, 3 or 4, I think we've pulled out of crisis mode now. I'm not sure on the exact numbers. And this is, of course, with donations and other things because we don't have our 501c up yet. As far as our system to bring veterans in and process them in a manner so that they can get the housing, the car, the job, get coaching and how to become a professional and a specialist in whatever their profession is. We're ground level on that. We're not fully set up for that yet, but that's our first step of where we're trying to go. And then it'll branch out to the point of my personal vision, which I believe is kind of the vision of it all, is that we're actually going to be developing our own system so that it would be like a university all the way up through essentially a PhD in whatever you want to. And it would be outside of the normal educational platforms. You can get rid of all the politics that comes with the education nowadays.
Yeah. They mandate you to take some stupid stuff. Like, who needs calculus? What does that have to do with anything about running a bank? I'm not gonna lie. Man, it's like they can't even do basic mathematics for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and right. And what does that have to do with a business unless you're going to be an architect? Come on, that's ridiculous. So
I mean, you need it to make nukes, right?
Well, a typical soldier only can count to 4, right?
Yeah,
I had to throw that in there.
Right, Ian? You can only count to 4 crayons. He's a Marine.
He's our Marine.
I mean, I'm the one doing all your paperwork, so I hope I can count quite a bit further than that.
Welcome, Johnny. So yeah, you got any more questions for us? Shoot it, Gary. Tell a little bit about yourself, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much y'all even know about me, but I've started my own organization. I've started nonprofits before. I started the first national 501c19 for the Dallas Mental Health Veterans Advocacy Council. They were the first mental health council to become a 50C19. I'm kind of looking that I may not even have to be a 501c3. I mean, my overhead, like I don't know, y'all saw that post I just put out, but I'm fixing to crank it up. I'm like y'all. I've been preparing this for over a year. I've been planning this, my research, and I'm starting putting it together. I'm like y'all. I'm kind of operational beta, putting it together as I go. But I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going with it. So I have
Veterans Access to Justice. That's
yes,
you,
sir.
brother?
That's
All
me.
right.
Yes.
Right on.
I got
That's
the
excellent.
website finally. I mean, I've done web design. I'm not the best, but I finally got it to where it's doable right now. There's a lot of information. Mainly, a lot of it is for me. I'm going to work from that website because my advocacy, as I said in that post, as far as the veteran community goes, I just need the support. I don't need their money. I don't need their time. I just need their to be serious about helping veterans and support what we're trying to do to advocate for justice involved veterans. My target is going to be state decision makers, state representatives, all those people, everybody that can have an influence on what I'm going to be bringing up, because a lot of it is legal. A lot of it is really based on them not actually following the statutes, violating the statutes in that area. And I've got over 20 years experience in criminal law. I've researched this thoroughly, and I'm ready. I mean, I'm ready to start. So my post today was the official announcement that I'm fixing to crank it up. The Facebook, I agree with you. I'm using that as a kind of a beta to test people's reactions, and I've had a couple of posts that have been very receptive. So it gives me an idea on one, putting a face to these veterans. You hear the name, but who are they? So the post I did about Stephen Coate, who is my partner, he's still in the Tarrant County Jail. He should be getting out any time. I put that post up. I put a face to the name. I got his deployment pictures on there, and it just blew up on Facebook. I mean, all the veteran organizations, it blew up. So that's some marketing. I hate to use the word marketing because I'm not marketing anything. I'm advocating. So, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I mean, as far as I had a GoFund. I still got a GoFund. I actually got some donations because of my financial situation. I mean, it's doable for me, but it's not going to be doable for what I need to do, and that is get out in the community and start going to these VSOs and start networking. Back in with my DAV chapter. I seen my commander yesterday, and she's like, "Come on back," So I got the support of my DAV chapter, and I want to start hitting VSOs all over the state of Texas. Steven's got a story to tell about how he was denied access to the Veterans Treatment Court. Our issues are well grounded, they're well founded, they're researched, they're thorough, and there's going to be lawmakers they're going to raise an eyebrow to what we got to say. It's going to be interesting. But as far as the financial part, I have put it out there, to try to help support me doing what I need to do. But right now, I'm right there. I'm not there yet, but it's going to come if I plan to start traveling around the state. So, but I don't even think I need to be a 501c3. I mean, this is like my passion. This is like my hobby.
Yeah.
So,
well, then it's not a job anymore.
A thought on
no, it's not a job.
I was gonna say a thought for you is I remember I reached out to you. I'm the one who does the legal shield for the Hundo Club, and so I don't know, because Legal Shield doesn't operate as a 5013 or 503c, but they run it. They're different. They're more like an insurance company. So I don't know. That'd be a question you could ask.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not concerned about how, as far as donations being tax write-offs, because all I'm basically gonna, when it comes to that, is nickels and dimes.
Mm.
It's not just enough to get me where I need to go, and it's not a job to me, but it's gonna cost me to be able to eat and stay. And on my income, I only don't make it. I get an income of only $960 a month from Social Security. So I got an apartment set up for $700 a month, and like I say, me personally, I'm good. I'm 66 years old, and I'm finally starting to live. I've never done things for the past 40 years because of my incarceration and everything. So I got things I want to do that don't cost no money. Walking in the park, running, and
Yeah.
we got the free tickets from Vet Tech. I can go to you know I got a life, but it's going to be hard for me to really do what I want to do. This is really my passion.
I think it's awesome that you're turning around something that's potentially toxic, and you're talking about 1,700,000 United States veterans live in Texas, or is it 1,400,000? I forget the exact statistic. But
Yeah,
it's a
we're
lot.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot. There's a lot of United States veterans. So I think it's very passionate. Thank you for showing up on our weekend community. How do you call it, Joe? Event
Event.
or meet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
community event. And
Well,
well, what's great about this is, for example, you've been incarcerated due to faults in the system, and you're trying to correct the faults, right? There's something going on in the system.
no, as far as everything that happened prior to this, I was in the Tarrant County Jail from December 28th, 22 to February 24. And I was in what was called the Military Veterans Program, a showcase program at the Tarrant County Jail. I was in that program. And that's where I learned about Veterans Treatment Court. They're all over the nation. They're everywhere. Every state's probably got one. Most of them got many. Texas has I think close to 20 or 25 or somewhere around there. But that's where I learned about this. Now I've always been veteran focused and veteran centric. I've been doing veteran service work for prior to this. I've seen so many veterans that were not getting into that program in Tarrant County that it's to the point of a dishonor. It's a disgrace because those programs are set up for veterans who, because of their PTSD or TBI, it may have affected their involvement with the criminal justice system, and that's just not happening. And I know why.
Hey,
I know why. So
we'll talk to our Texas individuals, the Texans. What you guys got on opinions on what he's bringing up? That don't sound like that.
Sounds like Ed's doing dishes.
Yeah, I had to feed the little ones, little gannet. Sorry about that. I was getting stared at.
So
No, I had to go and feed them.
How can we help you at HUNDO? Because we're about helping other organizations, and I think it's pretty cool that what you're trying to do is force the legal system and awareness about veterans having access to this. Because a big thing besides that is, we want to change the direction of veterans are going in society, whether it's homelessness, which is going to lead to incarceration, which is going to lead to problems, right? So it's good to have that kind of that shield and that protection ready there for the veterans, and so we can focus on getting them back into reinventing them, as Mr. Finch said. So, are you looking to collaborate with us? Or are you looking to just get some help with making your business exceptional or exponential? What's your
right now, like I put out on that post, is right now I just need to help with spreading the awareness. So that's going to take me listening to y'all and finding out what you're about and everything, and y'all listening to what I'm doing, and supporting each other as far as what we're doing. I mean, it's all about support for me right now. Just people acknowledging and being aware of what's going on. I'm at the grassroots ground level, and I've got to reach all the way up into the governor's office. So it's a process. I can't just start throwing it out there at the governor's office now because he ain't gonna listen to me. But it's like you say, there's a lot of veterans in Texas, and just that you don't even have to be from Texas. Just recognizing that what I'm saying, determine for yourself whether it's legitimate, and if it is legitimate, help me in some way to keep pushing that up the chain of command to where people will take me serious, because I'm got it pretty well hammered down to where I'm accurate on what I'm going to be presenting. I'm pretty good with law. I'm published. I've won a federal writ of habeas corpus, which is very rare. Like I said, I've been doing this over 20 years, and it's just my passion. Research, the law, writing, technical writing. That's all me. Veterans.
You went up to the Supreme Court? You went up to the Supreme
I've been in the Supreme Court, but that was a joke. I didn't know what I was doing when I first started. I won a federal writ of habeas corpus in the Lubbock, U.S. District Court in Lubbock, Texas, and it went to the Fifth Circuit on oral argument. They appointed Fulbright and Jaworski to represent the prisoner on oral arguments before the Fifth Circuit, which Fulbright and Jaworski is one of the top 10 law firms in the world. And they became my mentors as far as technical writing, legal writing and stuff. I learned a lot from them. Unfortunately, the man lost his case in the Fifth Circuit, but it was a bad case for him, but it turned out to be good law. It's a published case. So
what town are you in?
Town?
Yeah, city, town.
No, Dallas.
Okay.
So we ain't no town here.
Yeah, I'm actually from Terrell, so I'm from down the road.
Yeah. Okay.
So can we get Chris? Can we somehow get like his site put on mine, like as a link? And then obviously I'm from Texas, so I know a lot of people in Texas. And then I just followed your page, and I will start. I didn't know that was you at all. I have no idea.
Yeah, something told me I need to jump in on this.
Yeah, I share stuff as much as possible. I post more than I read anything on social media, because I post at least once or twice a day. But I have no problem sharing content. Most of my audience is either in El Paso, Texas, or East Texas.
Cool.
Excuse me, and I got family in Dallas too, so I have no problem sharing content. But if somehow we can, and I could probably figure it out too, Chris, but you're much better at websites than I am about getting his stuff on mine.
You know my answer. I'll load you up that donation button and get started.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about eventually having like I think it was commanders over each state and breaking it down to where if someone lives in a certain state or whatever, they can look under their state and see everything that's available in all the support that we have and the contacts and stuff like that. I mean, that would and that this would be something with you, Gary, would fall into it, and also with Commander Troy here. Same thing, we would have it like I'm in Kansas, you guys would be Texas, we'll just we got Destiny and I think North Carolina, I think it is, with Vet Talks. So but yeah, I mean, absolutely, we're all about networking, getting.
No, remember, I'm going to New Mexico. I'm gonna go live in the mountains.
Yeah.
I'll take over New Mexico. I'm gonna go hang out with the hippies.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Gary, I didn't even know about that they had that type of program. That's good information, because up here in Kansas, I'm going to be doing a lot of community stuff. Excuse me. And, that'd be some information I can look for to see if there's anything like that up here, and make aware of it. If there's any veterans, incarcerated up here, in this area or something like that.
And that's
Right.
that's one thing I put out. It's mainly on, I think, the website on our mission statement, is that we're just focused on Texas because each state has their own different laws and policies, and there's no way that someone could take on every state. It's just too
Right.
big. So
Welcome
I'm
to
focused
HUNDO
on
Club.
Texas. Right.
Welcome to HUNDO.
Right.
That's our goal. Listen, we make the impossible possible. That if
That's what we do.
it's impossible, that's what we do. We make sure it's possible. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Just
So,
wait till we get our 501c3. And you're gonna see things
Can't
really
wait.
move.
Can't
Well,
wait.
how far are y'all from getting that?
It's
We're
waiting on
waiting on one
Kansas at the
signature.
moment.
A couple weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. It don't take
Yeah, at the
long here in
most.
Texas.
Absolute most. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be any day. Could be any day. You just sit
Yeah, it's pretty
waiting.
exciting when you
And
get
chasing. Oh yes, yeah.
Well,
We're
Gary,
we're ready to go. Ready
I'm
to
Kevin
roll.
Arnold, and I'm with I'm the public relations OIC. So I'm reaching out to all these other big organizations as well, just to give you some background on me. 14-year Army veteran as well. It's all about reaching out. We're going to be working with the VFW, the American Legion, all Operation Homefront, all the other big organizations. I'm going to be reaching out to as soon as we get our 501c3. Try to see if we get partners. One of the reasons why I'm also wanting us to do that is one of the missions is to help veterans that are in crisis or suicidal mode or whatever, which we've already had a couple of those already that we've helped. But basically, if I have for instance a veteran that calls in from Tennessee, well, I'm in Kansas, I can't help them, but if I know where a VFW is, I have all the contacts with them. I can reach out to them right away, say, hey, we got a veteran that's in crisis. Do you have somebody available? If not, American Legion, any of the other big corporations or organizations that have people already placed in these different states, we can use their network to reach out and support our veterans. So that's one of the big directions I'm going with. Then next one is, I'm going to start here. I've already heard from local veterans as well. They want to just do a community outreach, which just start small social gathering of veterans that live in this area, even if it's just a weekly coffee and everybody meets up. Don't have to be part of organizations, nothing. Just you're a veteran, you're a spouse of a veteran, because the veteran could be deployed and the spouse needs support or whatever. This is something that would be greatly needed here in the communities, and then we can duplicate that all over the United States.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So I mean, that's something that I'm passionate about, and something that it's definitely the outreach is what we need, because we got to make people aware, let the veterans know that hey, we're here. And I'm already working with 2 individuals that are friends of mine that they're dragging their feet. But I talked to them yesterday, and I'm like, look, you need to do this. And we talked for like an hour and a half, and I think I got them on board now, finally. So, it's every little bit, as we said, no one left behind, veterans helping veterans.
That's the one. That's the one. Yep.
Here's a little bit of FYI that's on a different thing, that with my DAV chapter, that it's kind of like dying off because they're all Vietnam veterans. And so there was actually a veteran who traveled around the nation and did a study on VSOs, DAV, Foreign Legion, all of them, and came to the conclusion that if there was an epidemic problem about VSOs being unable to attract younger veterans to legacy, to live on,
Mm-hmm.
And so I got on that, and I spoke at the Dallas Greater Veterans Council about, that which was made up of all the local representatives of all the local VSOs,
Right.
about, what we could do to try to get younger veterans. And I used to go around and just ask them, what would it take? Are you a member of a VSO? I don't even know what a VSO is. And so, what would it take, to get you involved? And they're not into what the older people are into. Is they're looking for education and achievements and stuff like that. So that's just a
What
just
did
a
you just say? You just said, hey, what does Hundo offer?
The magic
Education.
words.
yeah
What does it offer?
Yeah.
Achievements. What does it offer? Prestige. What does it offer?
Yeah.
Ranks. What does it
yeah.
offer? Power. What does it offer? Influence. Well,
Well,
guess where we are.
if you could take that message into the VSOs
Yeah.
and get the VSOs connected with your mission, then that would be pretty awesome. I mean, you could actually come up with something to actually draw these veterans into these VSOs.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're going to know
Well,
soon enough.
I used to be a post commander for VFW here in Kansas. And I've been a senior vice commander, and I'm also do the social media for the one I'm currently with. I had a meeting with them. I think it was a month ago or something like that. I went to one of their breakfasts and talked to the post commander, the quartermaster, a couple of the other officers that were there, and told them what we were looking to do and stuff like that. And they were fully on board, which find out more information as soon as we get things rolling. And they even want me to come up there and speak on the Saturday morning and talk about it. But they saw what you're just seeing, Gary, is about the fact is that, attracting the younger veterans who have a different mindset than the older veterans that we had before. And they're seeing that. And they're having problems. I mean, even the VFW, we went from 1,500 members down to I think we're at 600, over the last 10 years. So it's definitely dropped. But with our organization here, with Veteran Hundo Club, we're definitely changing all that, and I think that's going to make it more attractive to the younger veterans, and knowing that there's all these possibilities and different things, which is definitely more than those other VSOs. But nothing against those VSOs, they have a lot of different history, and they definitely still serve a good purpose, but it's the possibilities are endless, as I said.
Yeah.
So I can't wait.
And
Just as a quick thing.
Go ahead.
Quick thing. All the leaders, I hope you guys emailed Star and Bright, because I need your guys' addresses so I can send you guys your t-shirt of Hundo Club. As a leader, I think you guys deserve to have that as a gift. And I think that's pretty awesome besides that. So whoever's watching this video at home, make sure, and your authorized leader, just make sure you send your record. Go ahead, Gary.
I was just going to say that in the I believe in the Tarrant County Jail was been the first time that I actually had exposure to so many Iraqi veterans that served in the Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, and they do have a different mindset. I mean, it was they think a lot different. But one thing I did notice that they seem to be starving for I don't want to use the word direction, but yeah, direction, because we had programs in there for the veterans, and it's like these guys were just soaking this stuff up, looking for this guidance. We had a guy that on financial would come in there, and is so yeah. I like what y'all are offering too.
Do you want me to
call it a new mission?
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely.
going to say, do you want me to give you a small, brief definition of why that is? So, politically speaking, the education system changed from the boomer generation to the zillennials and millennials. Okay. They started removing a lot of aspects to it. So our generation, so I'm technically, depending on how you look at it, I'm either the tail end of Gen X or early millennials. We call ourselves the zillennials because we grew up in that 10-year period of massive technological change. And so Gen X tends to not accept us, and millennials don't accept us. We don't like either one of them either. So we call ourselves the zillennials, and that's pretty much the people born in the 80s. But my generation was the last generation being taught all kinds of things in high school. all the way middle school, high school. So you get to now and you look at when we got out, we weren't given a foot in society. We were shoved away. We were constantly told what we're not going to accomplish, what's not going to be there for us. We were told everything we would not have, and that's it. We were just told everything that we couldn't do and would not have. We weren't told how to do anything. We weren't told how to research. We weren't told how to go forward. We were not given a foot in society. So all of the younger generations, when they're given the slightest bit of knowledge of, oh, you can make a business and go do this, you just told the person that there's an open yellow, the open yellow footprints at boot camp that we were told didn't exist. So what we're coming into as we're growing older is we're learning that everything that we were told that we wouldn't have was a lie. And now we don't know where to start. So when you put this education out there, when you put the knowledge out there, we eat it because we've been looking for it. We're starved for it.
I saw that too.
And that also explains, like, that's not just veterans, that's kind of society as a whole. When you look at the younger societies, that's why they're doing what they do, is because they're told that nothing exists for them. And they're constantly put distraction in front of them instead of actual purpose. So that's kind of one of the things that Hundo is doing. Now that's like a roundabout way of explaining it, but we're putting that knowledge out there. We're saying, hey, there are yellow footprints for you. Not only will we show you where the yellow footprints are, we're also going to show you the hallway. We're going to drag you along and make sure you have all the tools to succeed so that you can go from the yellow footprints to the combat field completely successful as the head of your line, rather than just deny you everything. And that's kind of where we're coming from. So just a little thought on that.
Yeah.
I'm a philosopher on my own, so I get into that stuff.
Would you call it Zenith? A Zenith member?
Zillennials.
Zillennial.
It's millennials with an X. So Zillennials, because we're kind of in between both of them, but we're not really either of them. And they tend to, and both generations, whenever you actually look at all their stuff, they're literally missing that gap. We're not counted as millennials and we're not counted as Gen X by either of those generations. So we're this hidden, missing field of people.
Well, if we weren't Zillennials, Hundo Club wouldn't exist, because then we wouldn't have had these problems to fix.
And we wouldn't have the foresight to try and fix it either.
Yes. Wisdom with the Zillennials. All right. Anybody else got any cool stuff to add today? Anything cool? So
what do you got, Johnny? You've been quiet.
Oh, you know what I mean? Just listening and observing.
Nobody gets left behind. You know that.
I'm the quiet kid in the back of the room.
Yeah, literally, like I'm playing Jaws theme in my head. Dun 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 dun.
I'm the thinker.
Amen. Oh man, so one thing we're definitely looking to do is consolidate our meetings. I want to know what you guys think about that. Cap Morrow, Cap Troy, Cap McDonald, Warren Officer Salinas, and VP Mr. Finch, and Mr. Wolf as well. Because we've had our meetings all over the week, kind of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, so I think I was telling Ethan this at one time, and of course, this isn't my so-called 9 to 5. Obviously, this is not bringing in money. I want to be at as many meetings as possible, but there are mandatory meetings I have to be at with my my financial business. If I would cancel all my Sunday meetings, because like I said, I got 3 meetings after this. I would remove all my Sunday meetings if I knew, hey, on Sundays we're going to do these meetings, and I would just say, hey, Sunday is only focused for Hundo Club. You know what I mean, and go from there. But yeah, like a lot of the meetings during the week, man, I can't do it because I'm running and I'm getting more and more client meetings every single week. So that's why I hardly even posted last week at all in the Facebook, because dude, I was at one meeting after another. It's just insane. Obviously, you can't cater to one person in the group. But I'm just saying, if they were more was on, if we can consolidate to Sunday as much as possible, obviously not in the morning because of religious purposes and stuff, but in the afternoons, I could definitely get more involved.
Right, that's what I kind of just picking Saturday or Sunday or whatever day.
Not Saturdays for me.
Yeah, I would say Saturdays for me in the future, but right now my certification class is on Saturday. So unless it's like late Saturday, I wouldn't be able to make that anyways.
Right. I'm thinking Sundays will probably be better. Like you said, after 12 or something like that. And then we can hammer stuff out, knowing Sunday is the day that we do hundo, and then maybe Wednesday or something like that, we just have a catch up, meeting or something like that.
Yeah.
It's also
Just
better.
check in.
It's also better for me because then I'm also thinking along the line of Camp Dodson. There is that okay? I know Sunday is all right. What's the next mission? What was the task going out? Let's say okay, Cameron, you got a task for going out to Veteran Foreign War for a presentation. Oh, we can recap on Sunday what was the actual events in AAR. Okay, and we could. I think whatever day it is, it doesn't matter. Because right now, and then people when they contact me, I know it's strictly really just to help them. I can stay focused instead of like worrying about a meeting or eventually also as we start rolling out, say, financial classes with Captain Dotson and Salinas, right? And they have their classes on Monday or something like that. And then we'll have, my VA claims on Friday and
Right.
Finch on his business coaches on Wednesdays or whatever. So we can actually focus on getting the organization that way. That's kind of like what I'm thinking along the line of that. What do you think, Ian? And we'll get to you, Mr. Gary.
Well, it really depends on each person's individual industry, because my industry, it's network marketing, and my ability to talk to people on the weekends is significantly stronger than all the rest of the week. I will get more done on Saturday and Sunday for my personal business than I will the entire rest of the week. So just keep that in mind. Some people are more available during the weekend, some are more available during the week. If we tried to consolidate it all to one day, depending on what day it is, that's fine. If it's Sundays, I will probably only be here for one or two of them, and the rest of them I will be absent from.
Or
Which
we
makes
could do
sense.
Friday nights. We could do Friday nights.
Friday works for me.
Right. It's just consolidation. Johnny,
Yeah,
what do you
we need
what do
to.
you got? Yeah.
As far as the meeting's concerned,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like leadership meetings and all that stuff consolidated one day. Presentations, this community meeting itself all into one day.
that's fine. But the meetings is, of course, why are we having the meetings? What's the purpose of the meeting? What's the objective of the meeting itself? And what is the resolution? Why are we meeting? And then the purpose of the meeting, and then what are we going to talk about the meeting? Then the after action of the meeting itself. Makes sense. So
Absolutely.
okay, so if we do small steps to achieve the goal, that will achieve a lot. We don't have to do so many meetings, but just again, where, why, what, things like that, and and then who's going to actually do it after the meeting itself.
So have a focus for sure.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Yeah. We can, and all that stuff can be presented before the meeting. So we could kind of, first 5-10 minutes, talk about what's going to go on. This is why we're having the meeting. Who can volunteer can actually do the objective of the meeting. And then from the next meeting, hey, did we accomplish what we were supposed to do in that last meeting? Make sense? Yeah. So small steps to actually achieve the bigger goal.
Copy that.
Yeah, and that's something that we've already been putting into a lot of our meetings. Like if you look at the Friday, we have a top 10 list for the week. We review it. How did we do? Did we complete it? This last week, we assigned individual officers to do each one. just specifically because it wasn't something that needed multiple officers to do. It was more of like just one-man jobs. So we do that. It's just we need to organize that more.
Vince, what you got? You got your hands up over there.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I think the couple of things what we wanted to do, we're conscious that most people have got work commitments, and one of the discussions Chris and I were having was that we are aware everybody's putting a lot of time into this, so we're conscious of your commitments. So we thought, yeah, while it's still in beta mode, let's test this out and see if we can reduce the workload on you and give more time for other activities that we haven't been able to do so far. So that was a big part of the thinking behind it. And we have talked about, we're floating a day of the week, but it will go out. We do want to make sure that we follow through on our democratic system, where the day of the week will be chosen on a vote system. So we'll go out to vote on that and see which day gets chosen.
Copy that.
But we do need to make sure that we're as efficient as we can be, and it's not going to work for everybody all of the time, but we just try and get the balance right, and try and reduce some of the 3 meetings of the week. We've tried that. It's proving, I think, probably a bit burdensome for some people, and we're conscious of this. So this is another aspect of the thinking behind it. Consolidate, be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Gary? So usually we have like we had meetings Monday, Friday, leadership meetings on Friday, and then Sunday we would have this meeting as like a recap. So we're looking to consolidate.
Sorry,
would that be better?
just one other brief thing that I've slipped my mind, so I'll just slip this in. Yeah, what we're also thinking was that we would have the beginning of the meeting for the public, so it's publicly aired. Stop the recording at the end of that, then re-record and have the leadership or group meetings. Sorry, I've got that little bit there, just to be clear. So
Okay.
Gary. Yeah.
Reason I ask Gary is because it's your first meeting, so it's kind of interesting to see from
Well, I'm gonna just roll with whatever y'all come up with. I think this is my first meeting, so my schedule, I haven't even really solidified what my schedule is yet. I mean, I work a lot on this, what I'm doing now, just website and everything. But whatever y'all come up with, I'll just roll with it and try to work with it. That's the best thing, because I really don't know what my schedules are from day to day. I'm not at this point.
Are you looking to be an officer or an NCO in our organization? Teach legal? Are you do you hold a law degree or anything like that?
I don't think I could teach. I'm not trying to so far as teach, although one aspect of my original idea for the Veterans Access to Justice was, and it is, based on a social justice model, which would eventually bring in attorneys who are actually trained and educated on veteran law dealing with the veteran court. That was something that I don't even know if I'm going to have to even go that far. But as far as training those attorneys and all that, maybe down the road, just as long as they know how to research and read, they can learn it for themselves. But
Right.
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, this is all new to me right now.
Right.
I would like to make a few more meetings and really listen to y'all and see what y'all are doing, where you're going without my interference. I really want to understand what y'all are doing, see where y'all are going.
Copy that. Just observe. That's fine.
Yeah.
That works.
I really enjoyed this. I'm glad. Some just told me you need to go ahead and get on that meeting. So I'm glad I did. It's nice meeting y'all. And
well, we're happy to see you.
Likewise.
Well, I got nothing else to add besides I really want to get you guys your shirts if you didn't get your shirt yet. So, if as a leader, so
I don't have mine
Hey,
on, Ian. I'm sorry. I do have a black
it's
shirt.
all right.
Uniform, man, uniform.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand. It's in the wash. It's kind of like the checks in the
Yeah,
mail.
that's it. It's in the wash. It's in the wash.
There you go. Trust me, I know. Now
Yeah,
look at Mr.
I
Finch.
am wearing a veteran shirt
Oh, I've
though.
got my hats. Yeah, I've got the other. I was just looking. I've got the other
There
ones
you
over
go.
there.
So
Yeah.
I think this weekend meeting is awesome.
Yeah.
So anybody got anything else to add for updates and which direction we're going? So really we're crushing everything. We're on our mission. We have our rank structures going, we have our command structures going, we have prepping for after that. I believe we're gonna get the app up and going. We'll see if we actually win the lotto come without a joke, there's a lotto for a $20,000 on May 15th, I think it is, that we'll find out if we get our app done for free versus me having to manually do it. So we be a little bit patient on it and just keep cultivating out our missions and making sure everything's good to go. We're crushing it. So thank you everybody for being here this week. And I got nothing else to add to team.
oh, I'm good, guys. Good meeting. Good to see you,
All
Gary.
right.
All right, good to meet y'all.
Everybody.
Good to
All right.
see you.
Thanks,
Yep.
Gary.
Thanks for coming.
All right.
Cheers.
Take care, guys.
Later.
Later.
Cheers. Cheers. No one left behind.